Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of PracticeCast, featuring Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Today we're going to be doing a bit more of a mid-level match, not necessarily a noob cast, but people that aren't necessarily top players in the game. I like doing these casts a bit more because I can give more strategic insight and pretty much give tips that are going out to a larger majority of the players out there, since not all of us are in the top 50. Let's face it, we can't all be up there pulling off the super micro that we see some of the top players doing. So we're going to go ahead and get this started here. You can see we're on Civil Frontier, the barren, war-torn desertscape that is this small burned-out colony. We've got TemperTester as our Plague Champion today, and we've got Irresistible Force as our Warlock for the Eldar army. We'll see if he does in fact live up to his name. We've got standard build orders and cap orders from Chaos Space Marines and a squad of Guardians for TemperTester and Irresistible respectively. See how this plays out. The Plague Champion obviously going to be pretty good with his globals against the sort of low HP squads of the Eldar army. Plague Cloud and Touch of Nurgle along those lines can certainly do some good damage. And the Warlock, being a pretty solid all-around damage dealer, should give the Chaos a run for their money. We've got our first couple of skirmishes happening here across the board. The Warlock taking a couple shots, but going ahead and grabbing that early victory point. Grabbing the VPs early, definitely something Eldar wants to do. They're a fast army. Map control is definitely something they can push in Tier 1, even if they're not necessarily winning the fights. Taking early map control and bleeding down those VPs is just a good opening strategy. Warlock has had to fall back there under the fire of the Plague Marine and his tactical Marines. Got Guardians capping the point down here. Pretty much even so far. Nothing terribly exciting happening. The Irresistible Force has already dropped 2 generators. TemperTester not right off the bat, seeing he did grab a second Heretic squad, which again will be important for grabbing map control. These Guardians getting a little brazen here, going behind several squads and having to retreat through Heretics. This is not quite a good idea there this early to go and try to grab that rep point unsupported when you know there's so many squads in between you and your base. Never try to put yourself in the position that a melee squad can take swings at you early. Didn't lose the squad, but lost 3 members. That's going to be a bit of a wreck loss for ultimately what was nothing accomplished. The Chaos Force pushing down south now. The Warlock is going to have to fall back, but he's pulled a Shuriken Cannon. Very early Shuriken Cannon. He didn't opt to get either a 3rd Guardian squad or a squad of Banshees. Heretics just barely sneaking out of the arc of fire from that Shuriken Cannon. Didn't have to retreat there. They were clear of the suppression. I'm not sure if he knew that, though, so maybe trying to play it safe. But he certainly could have flanked and gone around bottom here and gotten behind the Shuriken Cannon and caused some damage. Probably didn't need to retreat. The Warlock now moving up against what remains of the ranged army here. And Guardians going for some more map control up top. Both players now have 2 generators up, and it looks like TemperTester is going for a Havoc squad, considering there aren't any melee squads or anything along those lines. A Havoc squad's a pretty good investment. Can certainly keep those Guardians under control and lock down some points here. Still curious that Irresistible Force is floating a lot of wreck. I'm not sure if he's saving up for some Banshees here or just gonna be pushing a very light Tier 1, considering the Chaos player has 2 squads of Heretics and a Havoc all moving in now at this very moment. Bad positioning on the Shuriken Cannon really left the northern path open here, and it looks like it's gonna cost him. The Heretics aren't retreating this time. They know that they're clear for the Doom Blast and melee attacks here. Going right in on that Shuriken. Oh, nice Doom Blast. The Warlock also fell already. A missed grenade. Just a rough engagement for Irresistible Force here. Some nice melee attacks by the Heretics. Just chopping away here. That Guardian squad might... Nope, they're going to get out of there. Several unit loss. Warlock immediately brought back there. Going to cost Irresistible Force a little bit of early wreck loss right off the bat, but just charging right in, not even hesitating to get in on, I'm not sure where he's going. Oh, there he goes after the Havoc squad, but this is going to be too much for him to handle. He needs to get out of there now. Little too brazen with the Warlock. He really, Warlock, Eldar army, there he goes again, is really, you have to be ready to call your shots and pull the army when you need to. Don't rush in your heroes on their own, especially against a large force like this. As Eldar, you're very squishy but very high damage output, so you have to really pick and choose your engagements. Don't rush into an engagement if you're not ready for it. Let's see, we've got a lot of... It looks like TemperTester's gonna go for a Gen Bash here while he has the opportunity. The Shuriken Cannon is probably gonna come out and just scare them off a little bit here. But we'll see how it ends up. Guardians pushing top, gonna try to take out these heretics, it looks like. They immediately fall back, and Guardians will be free to take the top half of the map. In this circumstance, we see the Plague Champion has the Bile Spewer now, which is essentially a flamer weapon, so we'll really just take out, do very, very high damage to buildings and the generators here. Charging headlong into... This is not a good idea. He's probably going to lose that squad. Oh, yeah, can't charge into that, and the Warlock will be able to... Oh my goodness, no! Oh, he just completely left that last Chaos Tactical Marine a free ride home. He could have easily killed that with the Merciless Witchblade, which he has now upgraded. Does very strong damage to heretics and tactical marines. Could have easily one-shotted that last unit there and caused a squad loss. Let's see. Still not opting for an additional unit. Probably due to the loss of his Warlock twice now. He's rebought. That's at least 500 requisition. That's a huge requisition loss on his part. You can see TemperTester has at least 300 more requisition than him as of right now. Losing some more Guardians, just trying to push that wreck and can't quite get it. Got to keep an eye on your squads if they're capping, and use that fleet of foot to get out of there if you need to. Again, trying to get this cap, but oh, an excellent destructor by the Warlock. He could probably... Oh, nope. You can see the energy bar drop there. He attempted to throw a grenade, but retreated a bit too quickly, and the Guardians didn't get a chance to throw it before he retreated. So, it looks like the Eldar is going to be hard-pressed to hold this middle victory point here. He is pushing Tier 2 now, our Warlock, and... Sorry, I minimized our tab there. And just an extremely light Tier 1. I mean, I don't see any reason why he couldn't have grabbed either the 3rd Guardian squad or the Banshees to really help him hold the map a little better. Although he is managing to still keep the victory points down. Oh, nice grenade. Excellent shot. Tried to combine it with a Destructor there for a pretty solid effect on that. No Guardians lost, and just you can see bits and bodies everywhere of this Heretic squad. More Guardians coming up behind. He could pull off a grenade retreat here and possibly kill this aspiring champion. Oh, he is, in fact, 1, 2, 3. Just barely survived with 3, 2, 1. No, he did in fact go down. That's a full Heretic squad loss. Excellent play there. Makes up a little bit for the fact that he let these tactical marines get away in the first place. The Chaos is now going Tier 2 as well to match the Eldars, and we see Irresistible Force at Tier 2 is still floating a lot of wreck. Not sure what he's intending to buy here. You would think this early Tier 2 push would net him some field control with some early Tier 2 units, but doesn't seem to be putting that to good use. Again, just more reason why if you don't need to push Tier 2 early, get the extra Tier 1 squad, help with the map control. Of course, the Plague Champion getting an early Blood Crusher. Irresistible Force really has nothing right now to deal with that. He has the resources to buy anti-vehicles should the need arise, but I'm not sure what he's planning on here. Going for another grenade throw on the Heretics, but ultimately not getting one. It was a good attempt, but it's better if you've got just your one squad engaged. Don't waste the grenade. They'll be able to dodge it and out-micro it. Always try to throw a grenade either when you think your opponent's not paying attention, or if if you have their micro split elsewhere. If you have two engagements, throw a grenade on one. And you've got excellent suppression here. Unfortunately, he's letting the Plague Marine walk right up to him. And you can see behind the Shuriken Cannon a Plague Cloud is coming up, and he's going to have to retreat right now. That may well kill the squad if it moves correctly, but it looks like it gave up its chase for some reason. The Warlock now coming up behind the Plague Champion and his Tactical Marines. Using the Guardians to gen bash a little bit here. He got one generator, and it's peppering away at that second one there. The Blood Crusher is on the field, and we can see Irresistible Force chose to go with a Wraith Lord. Gonna be a bit late, but once that comes out, he will be able to scare off this Blood Crusher pretty well. The Warlock, of course, being a hero without any major anti-vehicle weapons. I'm not sure if he doesn't see this Heretic squad here, or whether he was just ignoring it with his Guardians. But those grenade launchers will certainly do some nice damage to the Guardian squad. The Warlock engaged by the Blood Crusher here, not really going to be able to deal with that. Falling back a little bit. We've got the Shuriken Cannon tucked safely away inside the safety of a garrison. The Blood Crusher sees the big sword of the Wraith Lord and turns tail to flee. Obviously not going to be able to handle that on his own, but it looks like the Chaos Havocs are getting their Mark of Siege upgrade and are going to have a Las Cannon to help that Blood Crusher. And the combined power of that will probably be able to take out that Wraith Lord if he's not careful. Excellent grenade dodge by TemperTester. You can see that's always an excellent strategy. If a grenade comes at your heretics, hit the prayer circle, worship, and you'll see them spread out and take minimal damage from that grenade. Unfortunately, he didn't retreat after the fact or cancel the worship and lost the squad anyways. But it looks like this Blood Crusher, as soon as this Sim kill is done and he tosses this Chaos Marine aside, will fall to the Blood Crusher. And now the Blood Crusher pretty much has free reign of the entire map. There's really nothing that Irresistible Force can do about that. That's pretty much should be your priority number one whenever fighting Chaos. As soon as you get to Tier 2, figure out how you would deal with a Blood Crusher, because it's almost inevitable. It's an early, quick vehicle, high speed, high damage. Get a Bright Lance, get a Warp Spider squad. A Warp Spider squad with in conjunction with that Wraith Lord would have made little short work of this Blood Crusher. But now, as you can see, the Guardians are just going to have to retreat, fall into a garrison. Unfortunately, for TemperTester, despite rolling Irresistible Force pretty well here, he has not been able to hold the map. He's kind of been bunching his army up, not really holding the victory points. You can see he's down by about 100 victory points here, despite causing considerable losses to the Eldar. Irresistible Force getting another Wraith Lord, determined that that Wraith Lord will be the solution to his problem of that Blood Crusher. A little bit of a premature charge into the Shuriken Cannon there, but it was flanked by Siege Space Marines, so it's going to have to fall back anyways. Plague Cloud did come. Excellent play. The Plague Cloud placed on the garrison did manage to kill a Guardian squad, but the other one got out relatively unscathed. Plague Marine doing a little more gen bashing here. A lot going on in this match right now, but that's an excellent use of the Plague Cloud. If you got a squad stuck in a building and you know they can't come out for fear of melee squads, a bloodletter, or what have you, drop that Plague Cloud and make them choose which way they'd like to die. The Las Cannon setting up back down here for the Wraith Lord. It's going to be in trouble. Hopefully he doesn't lose another Wraith Lord to this Las Cannon and Blood Crusher. It's not looking too good right now, but again, TemperTester's VP is just slowly ticking down. He really needs to keep his heretics capping the map while they're not in combat.